Well, no, I've never seen. No,
Oh, like them play together.
Yeah, I've never
Okay,
seen them
okay.
together
I was like,
before.
Herm, I know you've been here. No, you just blind. Okay, so we're starting game one on Battlefield. It seems, when it comes to double stage picks, seems a little weird to me. Like, it feels like it means like something, but not as much when it comes to a lot of singles matches.
Yeah, and I have to ask real quick: have Tofu and Mongo been going double Pac-Man all day, or is this just
No,
a meme?
they actually only went double Pac-Man starting in the last game, or the match that they played against Plaid and whoever his partner is.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah, Plaid Man team. Oh, LMC. That's what it is. Yeah.
So I would imagine the game plan. I would imagine is just to kind of like fill Game and Watch's bucket, and then just like kind of like tickle him to death in between bucket fills.
Oh, you really think that's part of their plan? I didn't even think of that. Like,
Yeah, it's like it might not even come to fruition. Like right now, it doesn't even seem like they're actively going for it.
Yeah.
But like the double Pac-Man, it doesn't. I guess I'm not aware of any explicit logic to the decision other than maybe they just want to vibe as Pac-Man.
Yeah, they just think it'll be fun or interesting. Yeah, I was thinking too, like, what's their thing, like their motivation or like what the tactic is here? And it's like just nothing apparently.
So, well, let's see if we can figure that tactic out. Mada and Jake are doing, or 7grand are doing, henceforth Jake.
Yeah.
They're keeping them separated, and ordinarily that's a good thing, depending on if you're a character like Ganon that benefits from kind of keeping people apart in doubles. Yeah. But like, I don't know how beneficial that is as characters that don't have like huge conversions. So, but I mean,
right. It's not. I guess it's like working okay, but it does feel like we're getting into this point in this match where it's slowly growing like further apart, and that red is like slowly but creepily taking the advantage. It's not creepily, wrong word. You know what I mean, though.
Yeah.
It's a slow climb, but it's kind of getting there. And this is kind of what I saw Mada do, and I've seen him do in doubles today, which is Jake does stuff, and Mada just zooms around the stage, like going in and out, taking damage where he can.
So I don't know what Jake was expecting there with that down smash, but Tofu was able to sneak by him. Well, this turned around pretty quickly. Mada and Jake had the lead pretty early on, but now things are pretty much even again.
Yeah. Well, Mada's only at 32%.
Yeah, so
the big
now
Mada's still over 2%. Sorry, next one. Sorry. Oh, yeah. It's definitely a hard double.
I was just gonna say, rats are vulnerable to scurvy, so good thing Mada's getting that free.
Oh, Pac-Man, yeah. Pac-Man.
So now it's just like a scramble right now. I want to say something interesting, but right now it seems like a scramble.
No.
Like everyone's just kind of taking little hits where they can get it. Tofu and Mongo are seem like they're just kind of wilding out a little bit with those smashes. Just really want to get that stock off Mada so they can kind of get rid of that immense psychological advantage.
I didn't realize Jake had just lost his second stock. I thought he was already at his first.
I didn't either, and so he share stock. He did a share stock, obviously.
He did? Oh,
yeah,
that's right.
Because Mada, I was going to say Mada was definitely in better position just a blink ago than he is now.
Yeah. That's interesting because in a match before, Jake purposely didn't take a stock because he thought Mada was better off fighting two people alone at one stock than Jake would be able to help.
Sign of disrespect. But yeah, let's see.
This is cool.
Also, Tofu kind of going for that edge guard. You know, interesting thing, Game & Watch actually, I would advise everyone to look up the specific frame data on this, but Game & Watch actually is edge guardable. It's widely, and I believe erroneously thought that he's just impossible to edge guard. He is difficult to edge guard, but right at the height, the apex of his up B, he is actually vulnerable. So if you have a long lingering hitbox, you can just kind of put it out there. It's risky.
But
it's risky because you might get stage spiked. But if you're prepared for that and feeling saucy, then that's something.
Yeah. Oh, because you can do the key right after every time up stage spike. Or
no, so
Jake, what are you doing? I learned my lesson from last time.
Up B hitbox will stage spike you. But like as Ganon, for instance, you can hug the stage and just throw an arrow, outward facing arrow, and that'll
that is the
Naruto chain.
Yeah,
I mean, yeah, it is now, I guess.
Okay, so
Pretend
game
that
one on small battlefield, that was kind of close.
What do you guys mean?
We were like holding on, but it never felt like.
Wait, we banned. My bad. I'm stupid.
Ever had like control over the game.
I said that with like full confidence.
It felt like I said, a scramble.
It was pretty much a scramble the whole game long until the very end when Red decided to pick up the
small
pieces and
stages,
just take what they could get and go. Yeah.
I feel we should ban like.
I don't know how much more interesting games will be unless they change characters.
Just set up Hydra, like
Okay, small stages.
yeah, we should try to go to small stages. So let's ban.
All sorts of new players showing up.
We ban FT Town,
Small
It's
stages.
gonna get really hot.
Frame data.
and I'm switching characters.
Oh, and Eric's doing
Going Pokemon Stadium.
this might
Great. Now Chaos is
Against
spread
it.
out more evenly across the stage. It's easier to keep track of.
Yeah, a bunch of small
The thing is you have to play
projectiles on a little stage like Battlefield. We're seeing Mada's gonna vanquish
Just-
the darkness.
Just try to take the lead while I try to like.
You know what's
space
interesting?
them out. Like you go
Last-
front, I'll try to.
Mada, go white! Don't, oh no, never mind, they're a red
Yeah,
team.
they
He's
went
just
Matching
visual
the color. Yeah.
This is still
color coordinating, I see.
Except Jake doesn't care apparently.
Same deal. I just like thread
Tofu
it.
beat
You try to
Mada.
target someone for that.
In singles last tournament. And it was close too.
Oh,
It was
yeah, I
so
remember
good. Yeah.
That was nuts.
That was
Yeah,
nuts.
Tofu's definitely been on the come up from what I've heard.
Yeah.
Also, shoutouts to what looks like Richter's leotard. Looks like it's fashioned out of a potato sack when you look at the texture. But anyway,
Maybe it
okay,
is, you know, he fights
so-
vampires. Anyway.
so that was Mada did some classic Richter stuff there. Drag down Nair, drag down Nair shenanigans, grab and let the cross hit him on the return. Sorry, you're saying.
I was gonna mention some random fact that Mada actually got a few drag down nairs in the last tournament too, only in singles. But it's like really crazy to see that happen though. It's like kind of reminds me of that scene in Fellowship of the Ring when the Balrog pulls Gandalf down. It's like they think they're about to get back, and then it's like, nah, you're coming with me.
That combat.
Okay, so
So
they're kind of even, right?
yeah, okay, yeah, now they
Yeah,
are.
because you can't
As
react.
Richter,
Yeah.
as Richter, yeah, it's like you're always one hit away from death.
80% is about death.
No, it's because
So,
my
and this is what I mean by just I don't think they'll have them being Mada and 7grand. Or Jake. I don't think they'll have too much of an issue. But you can kind of see right now that it's actually good that Jake has such a good recovery because he was able to kind of go above all of while Mada was throwing the kitchen sink at the ledge.
Yeah.
So that's something that's really dangerous is doing neutral get up against Richter. So that's what Mada's kind of bank on. It looks like getting picked up the ledge with down tilt, and then kind of doing some classic Richter stuff at the ledge.
And then Jake can, that's what you're saying, Jake can get over all that so he doesn't have to take damage. And
Right,
recover,
so
Mada
Ma-
can keep ledge trapping.
Yep, and that's what I mean. Like say if I were as Ganon to team with a Richter, they would have to be acutely aware of where I am off stage, and they would basically, anytime I'm off stage and everyone else is off stage, it would be like a wasted opportunity for them to ledge trap. But here it's like, for the most part, Jake seems like he can go above everything.
Yeah.
And that's something that Belmonts tend to struggle with in ledge trapping, is when characters can kind of safely, like Zero Suit Samus can flip kick.
Yeah, over everything.
Yeah, so characters that can recover high, Snake and stuff like that, Rob.
Yeah, it forces your character, forces you as Richter too to try to like guess, especially on a stage like Pokemon Stadium Battlefield, to guess whether or not to go on platform, whether or not to go here, because now they can get over this one cone you set up.
Right, you gotta do a lot of landing traps. So it looks like Mada's got quite an uphill battle to climb, but I mean, this is Richter. He's gonna, as long as he can keep him on one side of him.
That's gonna be the hard part though. Both these characters kind of like float around a lot. Richter moves fast, right?
Not quite. He's pretty slow.
Yeah? Okay, I don't really play him.
He's got the worst air mobility in the game, or one of them.
You and Mada make him look like he's moving fast, so I just assume.
Yeah, I mean, that's a fair assumption. He's not like...
So, Tofu and Mongo is playing here. Like, they're in the lead, right? And to just finish this lead, they need to stay on stage, basically. They don't want to be going off stage, one or both, against Richter.
So one of them actually wouldn't be too bad because then one of them could just stop because you kind of need real estate and time because that's something that Richter and Simon famously struggle with is like if Snake goes on stage and throws grenades on stage while he's recovering, Richter and Simon can't really set up camp. So that's sort of like functionally equivalent. If you have a doubles partner, they can just interrupt everything you're doing if you're trying to... But Mada's doing an excellent job. He's really avoiding damage here, so it kind of seems like, maybe Jake was Mada might have been better off alone just doing this 2v1.
The whole time. He needs some distraction to get to this point where it's last stock,
But he's been taking a little bit... Oh, okay, so that was definitely good for Mada.
That's really kind of the key one, isn't it?
The bomb caught him.
Yeah, that was close.
I love ledge bombs with Samus. I play Samus some myself, and it's like when you get a good setup, if someone hits a bomb, you're like forward smash or beam, or it's like, oh.
Samus can be scary at the ledge when they know
So
what
it's
to
probably
do.
going to be Samus Pac-Man.
I was gonna say in that 2v1 situation, I feel like the hardest part
I think
is really not screwing over your
Battlefield,
partner,
let's
trying
go.
to finish the guy off last. Because like when I'm thinking that situation 1v2, I'm trying to jump around as DDD usually, right? I'm trying to jump around and force them
we should
to
stick
do
with
interactions where they might hurt each other, so I can take advantage.
Yeah, definitely. There's when
Smash
you're in 2v1 situations, it's always a matter of one of you two has to communicate who's going to take the lead.
Yeah.
And there are situations where if you're both well practiced enough and have good chemistry, you know like how to cover. Like if your opponent's on the ledge, one of you like stands back and covers the like
because I
roll
can't
option
back you up
and things like that.
I feel like
Static
Alex would be
partners like
better with that
Suop
team,
and
but I don't
Roller
think
that
she
kind of know how to coordinate that sort of thing. But generally, one of you just has to take the lead and kind of act as sort of. You basically are relegated to this retaliation factor where you basically do nothing except punish the other person for punishing your partner.
Yeah. That's next and everything shooting doubles because of that exactly. That exact same problem kept happening.
Where one of you would land a hit and then the other
Yeah,
person
I would like I would use a Gordo to keep one guy away, then I'd go to help Max, and then the guy would just chase me down. And just as soon as I went to go hit anything, he would just retaliate immediately. It was like, oh, damn it.
Alright, so it looks like Mada was that feeling that Richter pick.
No, we're back to Pikachu. Even though that was kind of like, he was kind of getting around and getting some stuff done in that TV1.
Yeah, he definitely was. But I can imagine that maybe Jake was probably feeling like, hey, I'd like to play the game too.
Yeah. Remember, this is 2v2, not 2v1v1. It's kind of even right now. Tofu's a lot of percent on him. Samus kind of lives a bit, I feel like, when I'm playing her. So I'm not sure how much that means, but as usual with most Smash games, taking the first stock is the biggest deal.
Good catch on that landing from that dash attack. That's something Mada's been doing a really good job at.
Yeah.
Is when people are landing, he'll just smack them as they're landing with dash attack.
Just keeping on their toes. Oh, Jake lost his stock. When did that happen? I'm not even paying attention to him anymore. It's not even part of the game.
Here, let's pay homage to Jake.
He's a great player. Yeah, I just make fun of him because I know he can hear me. Actually, that's mostly why I do it from here.
Jake, we love you. You're so good.
Let's not go overboard, Verb. So even game, pretty much.
Yep, as far as I'm
More
concerned.
chaos.
So, this really does, it's sort of just like two separate 1v1s, so that's when doubles is kind of hard to commentate. It's like, it's because it's like you gotta kind of pick one of the 1v1s to commentate.
Yeah.
Because it's like there's no. I mean, aside from basic things like Mada just did a great job. That's what I mean. Tofu killed Jake, and then Mada did a good job. He had good awareness. He went up and punished Tofu for punishing Jake. And I think that doubles, it really isn't super complicated if you recognize that one. That's like one of the most important things to. The two most important skills in doubles, I think, are good communication with your partner, explicit communication. Tell them what you need and basically who's doing what. And secondly, and maybe just as important as that, is awareness of your partner. So trying to see if your partner needs help, if the opponent is in hitting your partner, presenting an opportunity themselves to be hit.
Yeah, then you need to take that.
And capitalizing on your partner if they get a throw and they have a known throw set up. So stuff like that. Right. So partner awareness and communication.
Right. And with the partner awareness too, I think you kind of touched on that. Is like knowing what their character specifically, kind of where they're gonna throw and be or like can do in these certain situations.
And it looks like okay. So yeah, I think they're feeling comfortable enough.
He did it again. He took a stock.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. Is I think they're comfortable enough, given that Mongo and Tofu are basically on their last legs here.
This would be interesting if they came back. This is like an even better situation for them, though, in my opinion. Because they're both at high percent. It doesn't take much for Pikachu to get a kill set. But Pikachu's also high percent, so I guess it does make sense.
Yeah, I was gonna say if they could get rid of Mada, that would be huge. But Tofu went out first, so.
I'll let you take the lead.
If it's between Mongo and Jake, that's not going to be good news for Mongo. Yeah. I mean, it's not like it's good news right now either. But.
Okay. Yeah. You need to use same bands. We banned the big stages at the town.
One thing I have been
I feel like you need to use
I couldn't realize playing the next day was I feel like
full charge on is like the best
undervalued strategy in Ultimate, and that it's kind of because it's new, especially in doubles, is team comps, like cheesing basically. Like
team what?
Team comps, like picking doubles teams where you're like, okay, these two things together can like abuse this one mechanic and will just like blow people away.
The Relward Suop.
Yeah.
And so yeah, I agree that's something that's so that actually brings up an interesting topic.
We have to ledge trap. We have to like coordinate our ledge trap a little bit better, but also like
with the topic being sort of like the idea of all things being equal, that say for instance you have this really cheesy team comp, like say Pikachu Game & Watch, where it's like Jake and Mada aren't going for cheesy like fucking shenanigans.
Right.
But people tend to think, or one might think, hey, if you have this cheesy team comp and two really good players, oh man, it's just like you combine your fundamentals as a team with the cheese, you'll go far. But it's like that's assuming that the cheese, like 9 times out of 10, when you have cheese, you have to kind of fish for it.
Right.
And that sort of subtracts from
right?
I guess loosely fundamental play. So it's like, and I feel like that's why Relward and Suop, for instance, never win doubles, is because they always do fairly well, but I don't think they've ever, in recent memory, taken a doubles tournament because they do that. They have those really, I wouldn't say, just out of, and I'm not saying you're saying this, just out of being respectful for people that
just
do
to
this.
Talk about cheese and the idea.
Right, like, so I won't like say necessarily that they do cheesy things, but they do coordinate their team specifically to synergize with around a certain strategy, and it's very obvious that their downfall, in my opinion, always seems to be two very good players who just get caught up in that one strategy, that one bit of team comp, and they get kind of, sort of like a zero-sum game.
Right. Have you ever played StarCraft?
No, but I know about it.
Yeah. In StarCraft, they have cheese in that game too, and it's all kind of the same idea that like you can actually get pretty good and pretty far in tournaments just cheesing, but like it almost feels like you're saying that you're sort of taking away from this element where if you're a good player, you can't really use this good player moment anymore because you've decided to put it into the cheese, and it doesn't really allow you to use your good player moments there.
Exactly.
Yeah,
and
it's
again,
pure setup, basically.
Right, and again, not to call out Rower and Suop, they're very good players.
Right.
But it's like they do, in my experience, are an example of an Idaho team that kind of does that team comp focus, rather than kind of focusing on their chemistry as teammates.
Right.
They focus on sort of like team comps that they feel shut down particular things rather than like playing.
Yeah, and that's really interesting.
The people they're playing.
Because kind of what started this whole conversation is this idea that is a legit strategy, and it is underutilized right now. I feel like in doubles a lot.
And because like one strategy, I don't know if it's still viable. It was a big thing in Smash 4 was the Anubis strategy, where you would use Lucario, and you would basically have Lucario take. I can't remember the specifics, but you would basically have Lucario tank as hard as he could, just so you would. I think your teammate would get like a huge would reap the aura bonus.
Yeah.
So Lucario would tank, and you would get this huge aura bonus.
You got it from Lucario too as his teammate?
I think so. I can't remember specifically.
Like this, but yeah, I can.
There was some. It had something to do with Lucario tanking and aura shenanigans, and it was a really strong strategy. It was very hard. It wasn't super viable at like top level,
right?
Because obviously there had been counterplay formulated to it, but at everything but top level, it was a very dominant strategy.
Because it was interesting. Ooh, that's like a very deadly strategy too. Because if it's working at everything but top level, it's like you have to know something to get to it. I gotta go check my bracket real quick. I'll probably be back to commentary. It was fun commentary with you, Vern. Hopefully we'll do it again.
All right, so looks like it's just me.
I have 2 stocks. That's not as bad as it looks.
There you go.
Oh, someone hop on this one's band. I can hop on this one's band. I have a buy. Actually, both of you have a buy too, but.
Do I have a buy?
Oh, yes, you do.
Yes!
Hey, Jet.
How's it going, Vern?
Good to see you.
You know, it's good to see you too.
Were you here last tournament?
Yes, I was, yeah.
Get him, Jake!
No!
Just no! What the fuck?
Jay!
Okay, I'm gonna let you do it. I'm gonna stand on the other side of the stage, and you're gonna make them eat shit. It's all up to you, man. Do not kill yourself! Okay.
Oh, I thought you were naming.
Mada was waiting for that roll.
Kill him, Jake. Kill Eric.
Oh my god!
That was a bad idea.
Kill him, Jake.
Oh, you're doing it! I'm trying to fucking style!
Oh my god. I'll smash.
Would one of you fucking grab him?
No way! I'm too scared, bro!
Dash.
And this is an eat shit moment! Eat shit! Eat shit! Your game's not.
That's it? Oh, no one's updating.
Eat shit!
I understand.
Oh my god! We did it! We play so.
Let's go!